Chapter 23. Winter had arrived in the Montana mountains. The weather had turned cold, and 8 inches of snow covered the ground. The day before Thanksgiving, Samantha spent her day sharing season's greetings with her warm, captivating smile to all who came into the bank. She couldn't wait until quitting time so she could spend the Thanksgiving holiday cooking with her mother and enjoying the company of her family. After the bank closed, Samantha drove to her folks' home at the ranch where she grew up. Driving the 5 miles up the narrow, windy, frozen road, she hoped Cole would be home for Thanksgiving. She wanted to arrive in plenty of time to help her mother prepare a feast, to celebrate the turnaround of their family situation, thanks to Dax. She smiled, thinking about the new people in her life, Dax, Polly, the Kellys, and especially Dawn. When the house her father had built came into view, she thought it strange that no smoke was coming from the chimney. At this time of day, her dad was usually by the barn feeding the horses. Something didn't seem right. She parked the truck in front of the house, gathered the things she had brought from town for Thanksgiving dinner, and walked gingerly over the path to the front door. "Somebody, open the door, please," she yelled. No one came, so she set down her armload and opened the door herself. Her dad sat in a chair with his head on the kitchen table. "Dad, are you okay?" Samantha questioned frantically, shaking his shoulder. He was stiff and cold. "Mom, where are you?" she yelled. There was no answer. She ran to her folks' bedroom and found her mother in bed. "Mom," Samantha screamed, grabbing her hand. It was cold and stiff. "My God," Samantha whispered, realizing the unimaginable had happened. Tears ran down her cheeks. Samantha sat in her mother's rocking chair and wept. "Mom, Dad, I love you," she cried, knowing there was nothing she could do to help either one of them. "I don't know what to do. I need to get the house cleaned up before Cole gets home. I don't want him to see this," she said to herself. "What happened? I don't understand," she cried. "Help me, God. Please help me." Samantha found several bandana handkerchiefs in her father's dresser to wipe her tears. She loaded her packages back into the truck and drove slowly back toward town, sobbing uncontrollably. 2 miles down the road, Samantha stopped the truck. She wiped the tears from her cheeks and blew her nose, but it did no good, as tears came faster than they could be wiped off. A flood of unknown origin had washed away her family, and she wanted to drown in it too. "Cole," she thought, "I have to help Cole." She drove on. The 5 miles seemed like 500. Samantha rounded the last curve before Conifer Cliffs. Through her tears, a blurred version of the small town came into view. She wasn't sure who to tell first. Should it be Tom Dyson, her father's best friend? Would he be able to help her, or would he be as confused as she was? She wanted Dawn to be with her, to hold her, to console her. Samantha drove past the cafe and to Dax and Polly's house. Polly, walking home from the grocery store, found Samantha draped over the steering wheel, sobbing. Polly opened the driver's side door. "What's the matter, Sam?" she said with urgency. Clearly, something was very wrong. "They're dead. Mom and Dad, they're dead," Samantha mumbled through her snot and tears. "My God," Polly exclaimed. "What on earth happened?" "I don't know," Samantha blubbered. "Come in the house and get warm." Polly helped her out of the truck. "Dax, come here," Polly yelled when she opened the front door. "What can I do for you, Sam?" "Just be my friend," the distraught young woman answered. "I am your friend," Polly assured Samantha, hugging her tightly. "I know," Samantha sobbed. Dax heard Polly's frantic call for help and came immediately. "What is it?" he asked worriedly, seeing Polly holding Samantha in the foyer. "Mom and Dad are dead," Samantha cried, muffled through Polly's coat collar. Dax met Polly's eyes, welled with tears. They exchanged expressions they both understood. "Where are they, Sam?" Dax asked gently. "They're at home. I took some stuff up to help Mom fix Thanksgiving dinner and found them dead," she cried. "Do you know what killed them?" Dax asked. They weren't shot or anything like that, but I don't know what happened to them, she sobbed. I'll go get Sheriff Hank, Dax said. You stay here with Polly, Sam. Is there anything you need from your house? I have to go home and clean up the house before Colm comes home, Samantha cried. No, stay here with Polly. I'll talk to Hank. I'll take care of everything for you, Dax said as he hurriedly limped out the door. Dax found the sheriff's office closed and locked up, so he hobbled to Roger's bar. Anyone seen Hank? He asked. Not lately, Roger said. 20 minutes ago, he was at the cafe. Ben Dickinson hollered from the back of the room. Trouble? Roger asked. Yeah, Dax replied hurriedly, running out the door, across the street, and down the boardwalk to Dyson's. He looked in the window. Hank sat at the corner table, sipping coffee and reading a week-old newspaper. Dax limped up to him. You need to come with me now. The two hurried out of the cafe together, out of earshot of any listeners. We need to go to my house and talk to Samantha Smith. She says her mom and dad are dead in their house up at the ranch. What happened? Hank gasped. She doesn't know, Dax answered. I'd better go to my office and call Zakaria, the coroner, and get him headed this way. It will take him a while to get here from Brookston. Hank thought aloud, scratching his head with the hand holding his hat. Then find Doc Archer and go talk to Sam. What the hell? Don't know, Hank. Dax gritted his teeth. I wonder what's going on with Polly and Samantha. I just saw them walking down the street crying. Otto Langford remarked to Ben Dickinson as he sat down at the round table in the back of Roger's barn. Really? Ben asked in concern. Dax was just in here looking for Hank. Something bad must have happened. Maybe we should find Dax and see if there is something we can do to help. Otto thought aloud. It must be something to do with Samantha's family. I don't know what it is, but it's something to do with our friends. Everyone in this town is our friend, and we need to help them whenever we can, Ben stated. Let's go. Otto grabbed his coat. The two hurried outside to find out what was going on. Looks like Polly, Dax, Samantha, Doc Archer, and Hank are in Dax's kitchen window, Otto said. Should we knock on the door? No, let's wait out here. Hank should be coming out soon, Ben reasoned. I want to help them if I can, but I don't want to be nosy if it's something too personal. Let's sit on this bench in front of the bank and puff on a stogie. You want one? Sure, a stogie sounds good. Otto sat next to Ben on the cold iron bench. The two puffed on their cigars and waited. Here comes the 7 o'clock from the west, Ben noted, hearing a whistle. Someday, I'm going to get on one of those trains and see where it goes. I've never been anywhere further than Missouri. What's the rest of the world like anyway? I spent some time at Fort Lewis, near Seattle, before the Army put me on a train to Virginia, and then on a ship to England, then Army trucks to Germany, just to get shot at for almost 4 years. Trust me, if I were you, I'd just stay right here. This is as good as it gets, Otto insisted. Sounds like you had a bad vacation, Ben smiled. Sure as hell was, Otto agreed. But a lot of guys had a worse vacation than I did. A lot of them didn't get to come home. Just then, fresh from getting off the train, Don noticed his two friends sitting on the bench and ambled over. Hi, Ben. Hi, Otto, Don greeted. What's going on? Something bad, I think, but I don't know what, Ben answered. Where did you come from? I thought you went back to the Bitterroot, Otto said. Yeah, I did. I borrowed my dad's truck and moved all my stuff up here. Then I returned the truck and came back on the train, Don replied. You just roll in on the 7 o'clock, Otto asked. Yeah, I want to see my girl. I really missed her. Well, I hate to worry you, Don, but there must be some problem with her. A bit ago, Samantha and Polly were walking down the street crying. Dax ran to get Hank, and now Hank and Doc Archer are inside Dax's house with Polly and Samantha. Looks like they're talking to Samantha. Otto pointed to the window where Samantha stood. I wonder what's going on. A worried look crossed over Doe's face. I'm going in to see her right now. Don turned on his heel and quickly walked across the street. He knocked on the front door. Dax opened the door and welcomed him in. "Don, where did you come from?" Samantha threw her arms around him. "I am so glad you are here," she cried. "Mom and Dad died, and we're waiting for Zacharia. He's the coroner and undertaker." "Oh my God." Don held her. "Oh no, there's Zacharia." Otto pointed to a hearse stopping in front of Dax's house. "With that hearse parked there, we can't see in the window anymore. They'll probably be coming out soon, and we can talk to them," Ben commented. "This can't be good," Otto replied, exhaling a smoke ring. "When old Zacharia Monroe shows up with his hearse, it can't be good." "Sure can't," Ben agreed. 6 people filed somberly out of the house to meet the coroner. Ben and Otto hiked across the street. "I don't want to butt into anything where I don't belong, but it looks like something is really wrong," Ben said to Dax. "Can we do anything to help?" "Glad you guys are here. Can you drive my truck up to John Smith's house? Samantha found her mom and dad dead this afternoon. We may need some help hauling them out. I have no idea what problems we may run into. Otto and I will follow you up there. Lead the way." Ben reached in, turned the switch, set the spark and the throttle, then went to the front and gave the engine a crank. Otto hopped in the passenger side, and Ben drove, following Doc and the sheriff in the sheriff's car, Dax, Polly, Samantha, and Don in Dax's car, and the coroner in the hearse. The small procession drove out of town. "What in the hell happened?" Otto asked sadly. "John and Elaine were the best people on earth. I suppose we'll be enlightened as the night progresses," Ben answered. "This is the shits. I hope you can tell us why these people died, Don," Hank remarked, bumping up the frozen ruts in the sheriff's car. "If someone didn't kill them, it's likely botulism. It's not uncommon to find whole families dead from eating home canned vegetables," Doc answered. All the cars slowly pulled up to the Smith's house and parked in front. Samantha and Polly stayed in the car while everyone else entered the house. Within 3 minutes, Doc verified his assumption by finding a mason jar with the remnant juice of home canned green beans. "I'll take this in and do some tests, but I already know the results. It's botulism. It looks like they have been dead for a couple of days," Doc stated. Colm, riding home from Cold Creek for Thanksgiving, topped the hill on his horse, Socks. He could see coal oil lamps flickering in his parents' house and the headlights of 4 different cars. "I hope they're not having Thanksgiving dinner a day early without me," he said to his horse, chuckling. He wanted to run, but the new moon, only a few days old, was partially hidden by a passing cloud and did not provide enough light to go faster than a walk. "I hope Mom has something good to eat. I'm hungry. I'll give you a gallon of oats at the barn, boy," he whispered, patting Socks on the side of his neck. The men carefully placed Elaine's body on a stretcher and into the hearse. John's body held the pose of sitting in a chair with his head on the table. He was frozen stiff and could not be straightened out, so they had to tie him to the stretcher to keep him from rolling off. They packed him to the hearse and slid him in next to his wife. "Where are Colm and Quinn?" Otto asked Samantha through the car window. "Colm has been helping feed the cows at Cold Creek," she answered. "I think he was going to ride home for Thanksgiving. What will he think when he gets here? And no one is home. And Quinn is at boarding school in Brookston. We need to get word to him somehow. I'll stay here and wait for Colm if you know for sure that he is coming tonight," Otto offered. "I'm pretty sure he's coming," Samantha sniffled. "I'm so sorry for you and your brothers," Otto sympathized, squeezing Samantha's hand through the open window. "Please show me where your mother kept the canned goods," Doc asked Samantha. She got out of the car and took a lantern to the outside cellar. He examined each mason jar, checking to ensure all the lids were sealed. "I throw all this stuff away just in case. It's not worth the risk to keep it," Doc insisted. "There's nothing more we can do here. I guess we can go now. Ben, can you ride back to town with Zacharia? I want to wait for Cole, and when he gets here, I need Dax's truck to drive him to town," Otto said. Then, Could you drive up to tell my wife I'll be home when I get there? Sure, Otto, Ben agreed. Start a fire and stay warm. I need to feed the horses. If John has been dead for a couple of days, his horses haven't been fed, and the ice on the water trough hasn't been broken, Otto said. I hauled a load of hay up here a few days ago, so I know they're here. I'll get a lantern and walk around and see what else needs to be done. Okay, I'll see you in town, Ben replied, getting into the hearse. Otto walked to the barn. The 3 horses nickered as he entered the corral. He checked the manger, which was empty but for a skiff of snow. It hadn't snowed for 2.5 days, so it had been at least that long since the horses were fed. He opened the barn door, stepped inside, and found a pitchfork stuck into the stack of loose hay. He opened the door above the outside manger and pitched it full. The horses buried their heads in the hay. Otto found an axe in the corner, took it and the fork to the water trough, chopped the ice into pieces, and used the fork to throw them out. The horses left the hay and came running to get a drink. Walking around the barnyard, Otto observed that everything else seemed to be in order. My God, what a terrible homecoming Colm is going to have, Otto murmured to the snow on his boots. The horses drank and trotted back to the manger. Then one of them whinnied. A faint whinny returned from the eastern darkness. All 3 horses trotted around the corral, throwing their heads, stopping to whinny, and snatching a mouthful of hay. The whinny from the east became louder and more regular. We're almost home, boy, Colm said excitedly to Socks. I wonder who all those cars were that just drove off. Otto sat on the back of the truck with the lantern next to the dark house, waiting for the horse in the distance to appear. He could hear hooves trotting on the frozen road. The horses continued to communicate with whinnies. Otto sat by the lantern and tried to think of a good way to break the news to Colm, but knew there was none. The moon now had a clear sky to shine on the snow-covered landscape, stealing more darkness. Otto could see the silhouette of a horse and rider in the not-so-far distance. He could not see who it was, but he knew. An eerie feeling crept over Colm as he rode up to see Otto sitting on the back of the truck. What's up, Otto? Colm asked. Get down off your horse, Colm, Otto said gently. What are you doing here? Colm asked, kicking his leg over the saddle. The big man put his arm around Colm. Your mom and dad died from botulism, Colm. Samantha found them this afternoon. They're dead? Colm gulped. Yes, Otto replied softly. Where's Samantha? Colm asked in shock, the color draining from his face in the lantern's light. She just left here with Dax and Polly. Do you want me to turn your horse out for you? If Dad is dead, who's been feeding the horses here? How many horses are here? I just fed and watered them. There are 3, Otto replied. They walked together to the barn and turned Colm's horse out with the others. I guess I'll start a fire and go to bed, Colm said, not knowing what else to say or do. You're not staying here tonight, Otto said. You need to be with Samantha. I suppose, Colm replied, worried about how the chores were going to get done. But with horses here, someone will have to drive me up here tomorrow to feed and break the ice. I will, Otto assured him. Get in the truck. Let's go to town. Can you let me off at Dyson's? I'm hungry. I haven't eaten since noon. I've ridden 30 miles since then. Returning from the Smith place, Dax parked in his driveway away from the dark street. Samantha was still in tears. Dawn, will you walk me to the cafe? I need to tell the Dysons. They were my parents' oldest and best friends. Samantha sniffled to Dawn, Dax, and Polly. I'll fix up a room for Colm, Polly offered helpfully. Thanks, you guys. We won't be long. Samantha wiped her eyes and blew her nose. Dawn escorted Samantha the short distance to the cafe. The sheriff dropped Doc off at his house and drove home. Zachariah dropped Ben off at the bar. Meanwhile, Dax walked to the grocery store with a flask of moonshine to have a shot with Rennie and share the news with him. Upon hearing the news, Marta ran to see Polly and waited for Samantha. Otto dropped Colm off at Dyson's. It looks like your sister is here. You two take good care of each other, he said. If you need anything, let me know. Emily and I are here for you. You can come live with us if you want to. Thanks, Otto. I know you are here for us, but I will be going back to Cold Creek as soon as I can. I'll have to do my work in Dad's too, Colm replied, closing the door. Otto parked the truck in front of Dax's house and walked to the bar, still stunned and wanting to have a drink before he returned home. Colm stepped up on the boardwalk and looked in the window of the cafe. He saw Samantha and Dawn sitting at a table with Tom and Margie Dyson. He didn't want to go in. He didn't want to talk about it and cry. He didn't want sympathy. He wanted to ride back to Cold Creek and feed cows and not feel worse than he already felt. He knew he had to talk to Samantha and eat dinner before Dyson's closed. Colm gathered his strength, took a deep breath, and walked in, pulling up a chair at the end of the table where Samantha, Dawn, and the Dysons sat, cold. Samantha got up and rushed to hug him. Did Otto bring you to town? Yes. I got home just after you left. I saw you drive off, Colm replied. Could I get something to eat? Colm asked, not wanting to talk about the subject at hand. Tom disappeared into the kitchen and soon returned with a warm pot roast dinner and set it in front of Colm. Want to talk, Colm? Samantha asked. What's to talk about? He said, holding back tears. Where's Quinn? He was coming home today, but no one has seen him, Samantha said. If he doesn't show up, I guess we'll have to go to Brookston to get him at his school. He probably fell asleep and forgot to come home, Colm snickered, thinking about his indolent brother. That's possible. Samantha smiled at her little brother. Polly is making up rooms for you and me. Eat your dinner, and then let's go over to their house. Dawn, I want to spend some time with Colm. Check in on me tomorrow. Will you be staying at the hotel? I'll be at the hotel or around town. I don't know if anything will be open on Thanksgiving Day. Find me, she urged. I'll be needing your company. Samantha and Colm left the cafe together and walked to Dax and Polly's. I don't want to talk to Polly and Marta, Colm said, seeing them through the window. I fed 1,400 cows today and trotted 30 miles on my horse, and I don't want to talk to anybody. Want to talk to me? Samantha asked. It's not that I don't want to talk to you, but talking about Mom and Dad will just make us both feel worse, he reasoned. Probably. Samantha hugged her brother. But we need to feel bad so we can heal. Shoot myself so I can heal? Colm responded, looking Samantha in the eyes. You've already been shot, Colm, and feeling bad is part of the healing process, she soothed, stroking his hair. I'm going to bed as soon as I can. Will you show me where to go without me having to talk to those women? Colm asked, gritting his teeth. Sure, wait here. She entered the house and explained the situation. Colm wants to go to bed, and he doesn't want to see or talk to anyone, she explained to Polly. Okay, take him upstairs to the second door on the left. The first one is for you. He doesn't need to stop and talk to us. Thanks for understanding, Polly. I'll show him the room, and I'll be back down in a while. Samantha returned to the front door and motioned for Colm to come in. She led him upstairs and showed him his bedroom. If you need me, I am in the room next door, she said, gently closing his door and leaving him alone. Samantha went back downstairs to sit with Polly and Marta, who had come to support her. I think everyone does this differently, Samantha offered. This situation doesn't come with instructions. We all have to do it our own way. Please don't feel bad that Colm doesn't want to talk to anyone. But thank you for being here to talk to me. Everyone is made differently. I understand. Polly agreed. Would you like some tea? Please, Samantha replied, thankful to have the company of her friends. Colm awoke in the middle of the night. He had one friend he wanted to see and talk to. He dressed and quietly made his way down the street. He tapped on Laura Dyson's bedroom window. Her sister, Misty, pulled back the curtain and saw Colm standing in the darkness. Get Laura, Colm said quietly. Misty shook Laura. Colm is outside and wants you, she whispered. I want him too, Laura replied, sleepily going to the window. "Meet me in the cafe," she said to Colm. She tiptoed into her parents' bedroom and nudged her mother. "Mom, may I go to the cafe, make some coffee, and talk to Colm?" "Okay, honey, I'm sure he needs a friend," Margie said. The two drank coffee until 6 a.m. when Laura's dad walked in to open the cafe. "What are you two doing in here?" Tom asked. "I told Mom, and she said it was okay to come here, make coffee, and talk," Laura answered. "Of course, it's okay," Tom said. "Could I fix you some breakfast, Colm? Bacon, eggs, hotcakes?" "All of the above," Colm smiled. "Thank you for letting me borrow Laura. I really needed to talk to her." "It's nice to have a good friend," Tom commented as he retreated to the kitchen. "And it's really hard to lose one." "Yeah," Colm mumbled. "What do we do today?" "I suppose you, your brother, and your sister need to get with the pastor and plan a funeral," Tom suggested softly. "Wow, that sounds fun," Colm grunted. "Nothing is going to be fun for any of us for a while," Tom replied, putting his hand on Colm's shoulder. On Thanksgiving morning, all but one person in Conifer Cliffs was aware of the tragedy that had befallen the Smith family. Quinn had caught a ride home from Brookston with Ted Nelson, walked to Samantha's house in town, and gone to sleep before the news was out. It was noon before he surfaced on the street to look for a ride home to have Thanksgiving dinner with his family. He walked sleepy-eyed down the street toward Dyson's. Marta, walking in the other direction, stopped him. "I am so sorry," she said to Quinn. "Sorry about what?" he replied. "Did you just get to town?" Marta asked. "No, Ted brought me home in your truck from Brookston yesterday," Quinn explained. "Come with me. You need to talk to your sister," Marta said, ushering him to the front door of Dax and Polly's house. She knocked on the door, and Polly answered. "I am so sorry," Polly said, looking thoughtfully at Quinn. "Sorry about what?" he asked with a puzzled look on his face. "Oh my God, you don't know." Polly was caught off guard. Samantha, hearing her brother's voice, appeared in the doorway. "Mom and Dad died," Samantha quietly told Quinn, putting her arms around him. "That's a really bad joke," Quinn said. "I'm tired of your and Colm's jokes." "It's not a joke, Quinn," Samantha replied, starting to cry again. John and Elaine Smith were buried in the Conifer Cliffs churchyard in a somber ceremony on Saturday, December 2, 1922. The entire town gathered to pay its respects to the surviving children. Quinn soon returned to his boarding school in Brookston. Samantha returned to her family's house in town and resumed working at the bank.